Now, before she lets Nathan heal her, she says she's got to do what she came here to do. Nathan helps her over to Zedd's unconscious body and then clicks a Radahan around his neck.
Hold up. Just want to say, the first thing that she... Okay, I get not wanting to wait to be healed. I totally do. Like, you got a whole bunch of whatever. But she got a strip taken out of the bottom of her foot. The first goddamn thing she does is put her foot down on the ground and try to stand on it. You've got another foot. It didn't say that she did both feet. Like, why? What? No.
That wouldn't have been the move for you?
No, why? No. Like, it's one thing to try and hobble over there on one foot, like, while holding the bleeding, bottom of your foot. But it's a whole nother one to be like, I'm gonna try and walk on it. No, the fuck you're not. And she doesn't. Nathan does have to help her, because that was a dumb fucking move. You
assume that whatever foot that was, that Nathan had that side, and he was her crutch.
Yeah.
Don't use this foot. Use the other leg. I got you when you need the weight to come over here. And then you can walk semi-normally without the use of one leg.
I know we have magic, so infection doesn't really matter. But
that too. But you also have to imagine that that's not the only thing that's happened to her throughout this torture
No, it's not. Because she says that her fingers are broken too, so she can't even barely do the Radahan.
Yeah. It's...
Which also,
it's rough.
How shitty do you think it feels for Nathan to be helping to put a Radahan on another wizard's, like adult wizard's neck, when as powerful as Zedd? Because he says that hasn't happened in like a really long time. Like nobody like him has ever been collared, because they only collar boys, not whole ass first order wizards.
Now. Okay.
But he also wanted to because of prophecy, so he's kind of in awe, but I also feel like he would feel like a piece of shit for doing that.
Yeah, it's got to be a complicated feeling. Now, Zedd, he's also never been collared because he didn't need to be collared, right? Because he was being taught by wizards.
Right.
So this wouldn't have happened to Zedd anyways.
Right.
So no wonder they never collared somebody like him. It wasn't necessary and shouldn't be necessary because he's already a wizard.
Yeah, they're gonna do some shit to Zedd now. Who knows?
And here's a question, because I don't know the answer, and I'm positive that it's somewhere earlier in the series. We've already gone past this, but Zedd can remove a Radahan, correct?
I would think he would be able to, as long as the person who put it on didn't have subtractive magic. But maybe not his own. Maybe, like, because you're in the collar, you can't do it to yourself.
But I mean, had Richard escaped from the Palace of the Prophets with the collar still around his neck, impossible as that may be, because, the barrier, I know all that, but, like, if Zedd, even better, if Zedd showed up to the pop, could he have been like, click, you don't need that no more, Richard? Because I feel like he could. He's the first wizard.
I mean, I would think, because
and he doesn't
I want to
need
be like,
it
no,
in the presence of a wizard.
They're keyed to the sister, but any of the sisters could undo.
Yeah.
That's why he asked so many of them.
Yeah, fuck, ask all of them.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think so. I also want to point out at this point, too. Sorry, do you have another point?
Well, I was just going to say, because the reason I ask that is because when he wakes up, is he going to be able to go, click?
For some reason, I don't think so.
No.
There's going to be some clause in there that won't let him.
Some line, he hasn't put it in there yet, but you're probably right. There will be one sentence explaining why that won't work.
Yeah. I do want to point out, though, that, Richard sent Gratch to go get Zedd, to bring them all back to him, to help him, and also to protect Kaylin altogether. And instead, they chose to send Gratch and Zedd to go help Richard because that was urgent. At this point now, here's where we're at, guys. Zedd is in a Radahan and not going to be helping Richard. Gratch is now fucking missing and possibly dead. Kaylin didn't have any of the protection she needed. In fact, not even the soldiers. So she has been captured as well. So
and Addie too.
Yeah. So them not following Richard's plan really fucked everybody. Let's just... as much as Richard makes some really off-the-cuff, impulsive, weird decisions sometimes, this was the one you should have followed,
It was the best call. Yeah, I wrote it all in the letter, guys. Come on.
Yeah, seriously. How much more clear could I have been that is the only way that this shit isn't going to get fucked up? You literally did the opposite, and it got fucked up.
But they did so with good intentions.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
It makes it better, right?
No.
Oh.
Because you fucked it.
Well, you screwed the pooch on this one. You really did. So Anne asks Holly if she would like to see a healing instead of a death. Another death. Because at this point, she's seen torture. I'm assuming she saw several Mriswith die and at least one Gar. She saw an old man knocked to the ground in a very violent manner. Now he's bleeding. And then she watched her grandmama die.
Well, and not to mention what she says happened before that. She says Grandma used to help, people. She would heal people. She'd be cool. But she would also not be great to everybody. Like, it was usually if somebody hurt them or did something bad to them in some way. But people like Anne didn't do shit, and she still did it. So she watched Vale kill more people than just this.
Yeah, and I mean, but that was the line for Holly. If they hurt us, I didn't like seeing it. I didn't like the fact that Grandma...
She could justify it.
But we could see how it was okay. This is different.
Yeah,
she literally did nothing wrong. And she says that she's very sorry that Grandmama had to be mean and die.
We all are, kid.
Yeah, right? No shit. But hey, we're sorry that it had to happen to you. But she's dead now, and she will not be mean to anybody else, in fact.
And hey, guess what? You played right into our whole big plan, so now we caught this one. So good on you. In the long run, you did good.
You did good, kid. and then she basically, I was going to say offers her a job, but she's like, hey, you don't want to hurt people. You want to help people. You want to heal people. I am the prelate of the Palace of the Prophets, which is true, but kind of not true at the same time. Like, you passed the ring on. I'm pretty sure that's legit now.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta pick one. You can't be like, I'm not the prelate, but I am when I want to be.
Yeah, when it serves my purposes, then yeah. But then she says, hey, we can help you learn how to do better things for humanity.
Yeah,
You should come back to the Palace of the Prophets. And she's happy to do it. She's like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go with you. No hesitate. Now, look, I know her grandma wasn't a great person, In fact, you could say that she's a bad person. But it was her grandma. And this lady, even though her grandma did a bad thing, this lady just killed your grandma. And you're like, yeah, no, I'll go with you. A killer.
She didn't kill her.
Nathan killed her. Didn't. Nathan did. She's going with the group. I look. I think it's a half joking suggestion. Yeah. I know that. Yeah. But at the same time, she was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll go with you. Like,
Yeah, but I think seeing the lady laid out naked on a table being tortured would probably soften your heart to her, and it'd be like, I kind of trust you. Like,
you know what? You've had a really bad day. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and do whatever's going to make you feel better right now, Anne. Yeah. I could see that.
Honestly, do I think you're going to put the effort in to lie to me right now to try and trick me? Nah.
Probably not. I can't tell why, but I'm pretty sure you're being honest with me right now. Okay. Feels nice. Nathan asks if he can finally heal Anne, or if she would rather just have him try his hand at resurrection. I've never done it before, but if you wait another 3.5 minutes, we're going to try.
Yeah, you're going to bleed the fuck out.
So it's up to you. Crickets. And they help her up on the table so Nathan can start working. But before he does, he says, now that we have a wizard of the First Order, the true madness of her plan can begin.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. They're going to use him. They have him collared, obviously, to either prevent him from using his magic or force him to use it in some way, specifically.
Yeah, it feels very contradictory to me because they obviously did a good thing by getting rid of Val. They're obviously doing a debatably good thing for taking Holly into the Palace of the Prophets. Or at least saving Holly from having to live in existence with her grandma that murders just whoever the hell she wants to, right? Because I think we're all in agreement that's not good for a young girl. Or young anybody. Or anybody, now that I think about it. But they do these good things, and then we're reminded immediately after that they have now taken Zedd captive. And like, damn it, Didn't they learn their lesson at all with Richard? With everything? And we know they're playing the long game, but they do this good thing, and then they turn around and do this kind of shitty thing, and you're like, I want Anne and Nathan to be good. I want to feel positively about the moves they're making, but the way that Goodkind writes this, it's impossible to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty maddening because you feel like they should have learned their lesson and been able to just trust events to flow the way they want, but unfortunately,
I mean, granted, they do have an agenda.
Well,
we know what they're working towards, and that's not a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah, well, my point was going to be, they were validated by the events thus far that we've read about. Like, they fucked with prophecy and forced things to happen a certain fucking way, and what do you know? They avoided the end of the world. So, like, Richard doing everything he's done thus far has proved them right in fucking with prophecy.
In everything they've been doing.
Well, gotta keep doing it now. And that's what's kind of frustrating, because, like, you want them to, like, butt the fuck out and stop. Don't take Zedd. Yeah. Richard needs Zedd.
Stop doing that.
What are you doing? But they obviously, like, they were proven right by Richard being the awesome dude he is so far.
It's almost like a serial killer abducting people and not getting arrested right away. So he's like, yeah, that worked out fine. I'm going to keep doing this. Like, no, that's a bad thing. Please stop doing that. As if you would be that polite.
Yeah, except, again, I guess maybe intention does matter a bit, because they are not just abducting people to kill them, like would be in that scenario, probably.
Right, that would be for a very selfish and bad reason.
Right.
These people are actually trying to save all of life as we know it.
As far as we know.
And for everything I've said over the last 5 minutes, I also want to add that they have a good reason to do some shady shit. And I'm not totally on the other fence of Anne and Nathan at all. I know that these are protagonists in the series. We are cheering for them. We want them to be successful. It's just that they're fucking with the tier 1 heroes when they are every bit of tier 2. You know what I mean? But it's like, no, stop. Don't grab up Zedd. Zedd is one of your biggest assets. He'd probably even help you if he knew you were trying to help. You know what I mean?
Well,
again, for the second time in this chapter, we didn't get a chance to know. We were denied.
I just feel like if you don't want to be frustrated with Anne and Nathan, you can direct your frustration at Kaylin and possibly Zedd.
Yeah, that's true. They did go against Richard's plan.
They are why we're here.
And now and now this.
So, pick who you want, but somebody is definitely to blame for this bullshit.
Yeah. So, just before the very, very end of the chapter, Anne says, hopefully Verna has her half of the plan well in hand by now. And that's it. That's what we're left with.
Unfortunately, the last we saw of Verna, to my recollection, was...
Where's that, Jade?
Shit going black for her, right? Right? She went into her office, and people were there, and she decided to just charge in there and confront them, and didn't go good.
What we're really trying to establish here is that Richard, who escaped from the Palace of the Prophets and has been working off of instinct from there on out, has made all the right moves.
Mm-hmm.
And at every single turn so far, Anne, while prophecy is happening, kinda, for them, she's making every bit of bad moves.
Mm-hmm. Well,
right? Her, Kaylin, like anybody, maybe not her specifically, anybody that hasn't gone to the letter with Richard's plan has fallen out of line and their plans went poorly.
I mean, I will just say, Richard is the only person, as far as we know, I mean, other than like the Mord Sith, the people who are with him, that's fine right now.
Yeah, they're good. And he just had a close encounter with the Mriswith in the keep.
Right.
Which is another, like, he got close to there's a lot of unanswered questions, and you could tell very much that it was done on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that that's why this was a great chapter, because there's a lot of intensity, This is what Goodkind is a master of. You have one